सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारम् प्रपञ्चोपशमम् शान्तं शिवमद्वैतम् चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः। So yesterday we discussed ज्ञानस्य जन्मातिरिक्त व्यापार अभावात्. All that the jnanam does is that the jnanam takes place. There is no other vyapara on the part of jnanam. Just as in a dark room, the light simply comes. Light does not do any other vyapara other than just coming there. You follow? And that itself is enough to dispel the darkness. Meaning that over and above coming to this room, light does not require to do something more in order to dispel darkness. We imagine some step that the splitting of the wood, the axe does not need to do anything other than simply part the two pieces of wood. And by a stroke of axe, other than that it doesn't do, therefore the splitting takes place. Not that you split and then separate. Splitting and separate are not two separate things. Meaning that there is no gap. The antarikatvam, there is no otherness, laterness, there is no gap of time between splitting of the wood and separation of two pieces. Similarly also between the light coming and dispelling of darkness, no distance is involved. Light does not need anything other than itself to dispel darkness. That's the whole idea. Light on its own is quite capable of dispelling darkness. Otherwise, you need something else. After light comes, then you need to do some pranayam, something or else other, to dispel darkness. Similarly, some people imagine that knowledge alone is not enough. So knowledge takes place in two stages, Nayayikas say. Knowledge comes and then the object is revealed. So light has to come and then object has to be revealed. So that two different processes they imagine. So there is no coming of light and revealing of object. There is no distance between the two. And that means that for the knowledge of the self to take place, in this particular case, that knowledge takes place by the process of negation. So this Pratisheda Grantha, Pratisheda Upadesha is there. In any case, the knowledge of the self, the Upadesha of the nature of self, is always in the form of the Pratisheda, even though the statement may look like it is saying what the self is. Like Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, we look at Vidhivakyam, meaning it's a vakyam or statement which says what Atma is. But when we really analyze Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, these words also, ultimately only dispel the opposite of that. The notions are dispelled. In as much as Atma does not need to be experienced, doesn't need to be created, doesn't need to be complete, doesn't need to be known really. And therefore, all that is necessary in case of ourselves, Atma being self-effulgent, self-revealing, being Brahman, and shining as myself, as the core of myself, let's say. Meaning that the idea of self also does not remain in knowledge of Atma. You start with self. You start with Aham and then realize that Aham involves superimpositions. And therefore Aham always is felt or experienced with as though a sense of limitation, which is not the nature of Aham. If Atma was limited, then it is a different matter. Then we would not have any difficulty in accepting limitations about ourselves. We have no difficulty in accepting things that are natural as they are. We have no difficulty in accepting fire as hot, ice as cold, because we know that's how the nature is. Similarly, if Atma was limited, I was a limited in being, then I would have been comfortable being limited. To be is my nature. I am comfortable in being. Love is my nature. I am comfortable in loving myself. Human being is my nature, let us say. I am comfortable being a human being. I don't resist that. Similarly, if being limited was my nature, then I would not resist the sense of limitation about me. The problem in my life is not just limitation, but limitation centered on me, that I limited, I becomes a problem. And therefore there is constant struggle to release that I from the limitation that is felt, not realizing that that limitation doesn't belong to I. The location of limitation is one, the location of I is different. Not recognizing this difference in location, that I is a subject and limitation is object, not recognizing. So this viveka is not there, this discrimination, this separation is not there, therefore they are taken to be one. Therefore I need to be told that your notion about yourself, your opinion about yourself is wrong. That's all. That it is not necessary to say who you are, because that I already am. And therefore, that is the reason why in case of the Atma, the self, which is already and always experienced. If I was not conscious of myself or not experienced, there would have been no problem also. There would be no adhyasa or superimposition, no bhrama, no mistake. We can commit a mistake or we can take something wrongly, that is being experienced. When the rope is experienced, then only there is a possibility that I may superimpose the idea of snake upon that. If the pitch darkness, though is not experienced at all, then the question of superimposition does not arise. By the same token, in the broad daylight, when the rope is known as rope, then also superimposition doesn't take place. When in the inadequate light, the object is experienced all right, but not recognized as such, that this is something then I do not know that I have not recognized it, I wrongly recognize it. So also Atma is always experienced. Ahamasmi sadabhami, but not quite recognized as one, non-dual, limitless. So the classical condition of adhyasa or superimposition exists in case of Atma, just as in case of rope snake. And therefore this adhyaropa, adhyasa or adhyaropa, habitually takes place. So just as in case of the rope snake example, the ignorance of the rope becomes the cause for the misapprehension or the bhrama or the snake, projection of snake. So also the ignorance of the true nature of self is a cause for the taking the self wrongly, and therefore the knowledge of true nature is required. So janma atirikya vyapar abhavat, all that the knowledge has to do is to take place. Other than that, knowledge does not need to do anything to accomplish its result. The result of knowledge is accomplished simply by knowledge taking place. The result of light, which is revealing the object, takes place simply by light coming, that's all, nothing more than that. So jnanasya janma atirikta vyapara bhavat tad janmanasya dvait nishedane upakshayat. How does knowledge take place? Dvaita nishedhenaiva. All that is necessary is the nisheda, the negation of dvaita or duality of division. Either duality I feel, division I feel, sense of limitation I feel. Sense of limitation naturally, I feel a sense of confinement, and that's why everything other than this boundary is different from me and I am different. So call it dvaita, call it exclusion, call it duality, call it sense of limitation. So dvaita nishedhenaiva upakshayat. The knowledge takes place when the dvaita, the duality, the sense of limitation is so nisheda, when it's completely negated. No notion or conclusion about the self remains. When it is recognized that the sense of limitation arises from identification with what I am not, although here Upanishad simply says Antah Prajnam, we explain in great detail how the Antah Prajnantam happens. Bahish Prajnatvam, Prajnana Ghanatvam, that anatomy is explained as to how each one of them is the states of mind. The so-called extrovertedness of consciousness or introvertedness of consciousness or denseness of consciousness or any other state. Knowing, not knowing, all of these are states of mind only, which are taken to be the nature of self. And therefore, all that the Upanishad needs to do is to make us recognize that all these notions about me, that I am a waker, dreamer, etc., they all arise on account of taking the mind to be myself. There is Antah Prajnatvam somewhere. Bahish Prajnatvam, Ubhetah Prajnatvam, Prajnana Ghanatvam, Prajnatvam, Aprajnatvam, all this is there. Where? In the mind. So Dvaita Nishedheneva Upakshayat. All that the knowledge has to do is to eliminate this Dvaita, darkness of nature of this notion, Brahma or duality. So that is where it culminates. It doesn't even produce the idea of non-duality. You see? That knowledge must eliminate duality and then reveal the non-duality. Knowledge should eliminate sense of limitation and create this knowledge of limitlessness. These two processes are not there. When darkness is removed and the part which is an attaining reality just shines. So also when the sense of limitation goes, then limitlessness, which is an obtaining reality, shines. So Dvaita Nishedheneva Upakshayat. Vishaya Sphurana Jananaya Anavasthat. If the light comes and then next moment the part shines, or the knowledge comes and then next moment by another vritti the Atma shines, then anavasthanat, we say that. How will you remove that vritti? You require other vritti. How to remove that vritti, another vritti, and that way it will never happen that the pot shines or that Atma shines or Atma is known. Therefore, the very first vritti itself does its job and goes away. This is the nature of vritti, that it does its job. In this case, vritti is cognition. So, what's the job? Revealing its object, goes away. The Ghatakar vritti reveals the part and then goes away. Otherwise, you need another vritti to remove that vritti. Here, Aropita Atadharma Nivrityayeva Jnanam Parivasitam. Aropita Atadharma Nivritya. Atadharma, Tat means Atma or Turiya. Atat, what Turiya is not, what Atma is not, namely Anatma. Dharma, so Dharma, the attributes of Atat, Anatma, superimposed upon Atma, like the waking, like the dreaming, like the sleeping, and so forth. Nivritya, that these things do not belong to Tat, these things do not belong to Atma, they do not belong to Turiya. This is what the Nisheda Vakya tells us. So therefore, Nivrityayeva, that's all that this Nisheda Upadesha does. Is Nivritti, the elimination of Atat Dharma, elimination of dharma that does not belong to Turiya or Atma. That's all it does. That Atma shines, it is always shining and the ever shines in its glory. So Jnanam Parivasarati Upasamharati Tasmaditi. So Bhashyakara says, Tasmat Pratisheda, where are we? Let us see. Yeah, we are on the page 332 on that paragraph, in the last button line. Tasmat Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana Vyapara Samakala Eva Atma Adhyavrupitantaha Prajnatvadi Anartha Nivruti Siddham. So from this discussion, which we carried out in the last class, Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana Vyapara Samakala Eva. Pratisheda Vijnana, the knowledge of the Pratisheda, the knowledge of the negation. Negation means seeing that I am not this. Seeing that the Antah Prajnatvam belongs to mind. Bahish Prajnatvam belongs to mind. I am not that, that's all. It's not that there is no Antah Prajnatvam anywhere, it is there someplace. But not where I take it to be. So Pratisheda means all of these dharmas or attributes are negated in self. In Turiya, in self they are negated. So if I respond to this teaching Nantah Prajnam or Nantah Prajnosi, let us say, Antah Prajna, if I am ready to see this fact, this Antah Prajna I am not. Because Antah Prajnatvam is something that is known to me, I am the witness of that, I am the illuminator of that, I am not that. Meaning that I am able to create a distance between Antah Prajnatvam and myself. Which distance is there? The self is subject and the Antah Prajna is object. So there is a distance. Yusmat Pratyaya Gocharayo Vishay Vishayino Tamah Prakasa Viruddha. So the one is Yusmat Pratyaya, and the Asmat Pratyaya. Antah Prajnatvam is Yusmat Pratyaya. Shining is Yushmat as this, as Idam, as you or Idam. And Turiya is shining as Asmat Pratyaya, as I. So when this reality is recognized, that's all it is. This is existing thing. I do not recognize that. So this teaching is meant to help me recognize that, hey, Antah Prajnatvam is Yushmat Pratyaya. That's all. That's all it says, is Yushmat Pratyaya, Yushmat Pratyaya, Yushmat Pratyaya, Yushmat Pratyaya, non-self, non-self. Doesn't it tell you who you are? So all this discussion came, that how come this negation can create knowledge? Only in case of Atma, which is self-shining, that it can create knowledge, not in any other case. For something that is different from me, negation cannot create any knowledge. When you say this is not an elephant, this is not a table, this is not a chair, it doesn't do anything. If it is an object, understand? So negation is not known to give you knowledge for anything, if that thing is something different from myself. The negation can create knowledge only with reference to myself, because I take myself to be what I am not. Which is what you are not. Asthulam, Ananu, Ahrasvam, Adirgham, Adreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Avaranam, Achakshashrotram, Tadapanipadam, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyayam, Tatharasam, Nityam Agandhavachyat. So this is how Aprano, Hyamanaha, etc. Because identification takes place in natural course, and therefore unable to make me see that, hey, this is identification, this is not reality. Pratisheda Vijnana, this becomes Pramanam. This means the pratisheda vijnanam, the knowledge taking place from pratisheda or negation of what I am not, becomes pramana, the means of knowledge, illumines its object. Pramana vyapara samakala eva. When this pramanam, when this knowledge takes place, Atmani adhyavapita antah prajnatvadi anartha nivrittihi. So between this pramanam, knowledge or light coming, and removal of darkness in the form of the sadness or anartha, means all sorts of evils, sorrow, grief, and then kama, all sorts of things. So anartha nivritti, antah prajnatvadi anartha nivritti, taking myself to be antah prajna, bahish prajna, uvedah prajna, prajnana gana, etc., is all anartha. Antah prajna is not anartha. Dreaming is not anartha. Waking is not anartha. Taking myself to be a dreamer is anartha. Taking myself to be a waker, anartha means it is sense of limitation, all kinds of sadness, sorrow arises. So, even though antah prajnatvadi anartha means what? Antah prajnoham. All these conclusions, notions, opinions about myself, they are the cause of all anartha or evil or sorrow. Nivritti, right away this nivritti of darkness takes place. Just as just on the arrival of the light, the dispelling of darkness takes place without any gap or intermediate factor. That gap is there, it is likely that thing will not happen. Something can interfere. So light comes and still you don't see the part. It is possible if they are two separate processes. Not two separate processes. Therefore, anartha nivritti takes place in matter of course. It is siddham. So this is what is established based on the discussion that we had in the last class. So Tika says pratisheda janitam vijnanam eva pramanam. So vijnana pramanam. Pratisheda vijnana pramanam. So that explains that the component explains pratisheda janitam vijnanam eva pramanam. The vijnanam, the knowledge, pratisheda janitam, born of the pratisheda. I do that pratisheda. In fact, the Shruti Vakyas are of the nature of pratisheda, but that's what I do. So that becomes pramanam when I do what the Shruti is saying. That's the tuning up with the Shruti through the teacher. That what the Shruti says automatically takes place in my mind because of the tuning up. Those Vakyas come through the teacher. Therefore, tuning up with the teacher also. But the idea is that as the Upadesha takes place, corresponding response takes place in me. Whenever that happens. So that is what we have been saying, that the connection between the words and the meaning when it takes place. Now that connection may take a long time. A lifetime or several lifetimes, we do not know. S.P. Swami used to give example of that Greek philosopher. Sir, your ship has sunk. What? So what? Sir, your property is all gone. What? So what? So in case of that philosopher who must be a very mature person, spiritually mature, the gap between what and so what was a few seconds. But for somebody it can be a few minutes, few hours, few days, few weeks, few years, few lifetimes. So that's the growth that is to take place in us. The Shruti utters a Vakya and corresponding pratyaya, the cognition takes place in me. when my mind is ready, when I am ready. Therefore, Pratishedajanitam Vijnanameva Pramanam. Therefore, the knowledge born of the Pratisheda, or the statements of negation on the part of the Shruti, the knowledge that is born as a result of that itself is Pramana, is a valid means of knowledge. So, Pramana Vyapara Samakalameva. What is Pramana Vyapara? So, Pramana Janakam Pramanam. The knowledge takes place. That's the Vyapara of Pramana. So, when Pramana Vyapara takes place, when Pramana, the means of operation, is brought into, means of knowledge brought into operation, meaning when the eyes contact an object, the knowledge of color takes place right away, there is nothing in between. Samkalameva, so Vijnana is tasya Vyaparo Janmayeva. What does Vyapara, what does knowledge do? Just takes place. Not that light comes and does something. What's the Vyapara? What does the light do? Light just comes, that's all. And then the darkness is dispelled. Tena samakala eva anartha nivrutti. For the light to come and dispelling darkness is simultaneous. Similarly also, for the knowledge to take place and all sorrow to disappear is simultaneous. Until then, knowledge has not taken place. If I don't become free from anartha or sorrow, then I know that knowledge has not taken place. So until then, they should go on. Until then, nantah pragyam, nabhahish pragyam eliminates the sorrow, anartha, sense of duality, sense of limitation. So when these words create the right impact in me, then I see, hey, where is the question of sorrow? Antah prajna is full of sorrow. Because Chandogya Upanishad says that the dreamer fellow is sometimes chased by an elephant and chased, attacked by somebody. And he cries also. He's as though being killed. So dreamer has his own samsara. And awake has his own samsara. The sleeper doesn't have samsara evident, but potentially there. Samsara is waiting for this fellow to wake up. So anartha is involved wherever ignorance and wherever the I notion is there. So tena samana kala eva anartha nivrutti. Therefore, the cessation of all anartha, all sorrow, is simultaneous with the taking place of knowledge. It is siddham. Now Bhashyakara, having created this background of how the Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana Vyapara, how Pratisheda Vijnana becomes the Pramana, the means of knowledge for elimination of all samsara. And all you need is Pratisheda Vijnanam, nothing more. All you need for revealing the part is just the light and nothing else. So there is no pravritti after that. Earlier also it came that how about prasankhyanam, repeating Ham Brahmasmi, etc. Repetition is not pramanam. Cognition is pramanam. Jnana vritti is pramanam. So repeating something, jnanam doesn't take place. But no process jnanam takes place other than pramana, vyapara. In our day-to-day life also, no cognition takes place unless pramana comes into play. No cognition of color and form will take place unless the pramana of the nature of eyes come into play. So cognition of the true nature of self will not take place unless pramana, here the shabda pramana comes into play. So having, therefore, see, earlier Just say, how come you are giving Upadesha by negation? Because there is no Shabda Pravritti and therefore it is all established. The second question was, how come the Upadesha is given in this way, negation, but Nantah Prajnam, na Bahish Prajnam, why negation of this nature is being taken? So that was the second part of discussion. So not just negation, in case of Atma, negation of Antah Prajnatvam, Bahish Prajnatvam, that Upadesha becomes the Pramanam when in the right mind that Upadesha creates the right impact and corresponding knowledge takes place. Then the true nature of Atma is known and all notions drop off, all anarthas go away. Having now made very clear what is the role of this teaching Nantah Prajnam, should become very clear to us. Then alone it will work. So when this becomes clear to us, then this Upadesha will work. Therefore, Bhashyakara spent whatever time was necessary in first of all discussing why the Upadesha is given in these terms of negation, and then why the specific kind of negation such as Antah Prajnatva. Then now Bhashyakara explains. Nantah Prajnam, the Bahish Prajnam, no Vayatah Prajnam, etc. So are being explained. So Bhashyakara is Nantah Prajnam iti Tejasa Pratishedha. We all know now. And so Swapnasthanaha, Antah Prajnaha, Saptangaha, etc. So Antah Prajna is the description of Tejasa, the dreamer. So Nantah Prajnam is Tejasa Pratishedha. It is a negation of Tejasa, dreamer. You know what it means? You are not dreamer. It's not dreamer that is negated. The notion that I am dreamer is negated, understand? Otherwise you negate other things, it doesn't relate to me, then negation doesn't mean anything to me. Nantah Prajnam it says, what it means is, Nantah Prajnosi, you are not a dreamer. You are right. Hey, dreaming is a state of mind. I am aware of the dreaming. I am not a dreamer. You respond like that. When the mind is ready, then it responds like that. That we do in the day-to-day activities, and when we are told right away, the cognition takes place because the connection is already established. Here the connection needs to be established. But this is the way. Pujya Swami said, Paunaf Punyana, that you keep looking at this again and again. Keep contemplating the vichara again and again. So that vichara is alone is a pramanam for knowledge to take place. Not some kind of event, etc. Nantapam Tejasa Pratishedha, meaning what? You are not Tejasa. That is, I am not Tejasa. That's what this sentence means. Na Bahish Prajna means Vishwa Pratishedha. So Jagrita Sthana, Saptanga, Ekonimisham. So this is the Prasamah Pada. Therefore, that's called Vaishwanaraha or Vishwa. Vishwa Pratishedha. The Pratishedha Vaikar meaning the what? You are not Vaikar means what? I am not the Vaikar. Vaikar is the samsari. Vaikar is all anarthas. Because Vaikar means experiencing the gross world. Moment experience comes, then something is going to happen. Matras parshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. Matras, indriyas, sparsha, the sense objects, when they come in contact with each other, sukha dukkhadaha, some experience happens, sukha, dukkha, mana, apamana, etc., etc. That is samsara. Even sukha also is samsara. Because when sukha comes, I want to hold on to that. So sukha creates unhappiness by leaving me. Dukkha creates unhappiness by coming to me. Every experience which involves bhoktrutvam, the sense of experiencership, has evident potential or evident unhappiness. So recognize this. How seeing myself as a waker is a big problem. Waking is not a problem. Waking world also is not a problem. Waking experience also is not a problem. But branding myself as a waker, as experiencer of this waking state or waking objects, it is the waker is a problem. When I am the waker, that's a problem. The bhokta is a problem. And therefore karta also and pramada also. So na bahishprajnamiti vishwa pratishedaha. That the waker is negated, meaning that you are not the waker. See the fact that I am not the waker. No vayatah prajnamiti. He is not, so there is no intermediate, he is not intermediate, he is not aware of or experience of intermediate state. Jagrat swapnayo antarala avastha pratishedah. So waking is one avastha, state of mind. And then swapna is another avastha. In between there can be an avastha, which is element of Jagrata also and Swapna also. So because the psychologists may describe all kinds of the states of mind. So daydreaming and stuff like that. So if Antaral avastha, so any such avastha also, meaning that if today you discover, tomorrow you discover different kinds of states of mind which cannot be classified as waking or dream or sleep, then whatever that is all negated. Because it's not I. Regardless of what the avastha is, all states of mind. What happens is, as the mind comes up with a state, I right away identify with it. That is why I says, whatever be the state of mind, you are not a bhokta, you are not an experiencer, you are simply a witness, unconnected witness. न प्रज्ञानघनमिति सुषुप्त अवस्था प्रतिषेधः. Don't think that I was sleeping. Now, when I am sleeping, I don't have the notion that I am a sleeper. But when I wake up, then I say I was sleeping. That is also not so. You are not sleeping. I say I was dreaming. You are not dreaming. Because I was dreaming, that can also cause problem. I was sleeping and I am not sleeping now. So that also can cause problem. Anything added to I can either right away cause problem or potentially cause problem. And so every possible ground of complex is negated here. So, na prajnanagamati sushupta avastha nishedaha. The negation of sushupta avastha meaning what? Sushupta. You are not prajna. You are not a sleeper. Sleeping is there. You can't negate sleeping. Oh, he is not in Atma. That also we can say. In Atma, there is no waking. In Atma, there is no dreaming. In Atma, no sleeping. Because thinking that waking is an Atma creates the notion that I am a waker. The dreaming is an Atma creates the notion I am a dreamer. Sleeping is an Atma creates the notion I am a sleeper. So, either way, tatra hetu maha. Sushupta avastha nishedha, there the hetu, the reason Bhashyakara gives, bija bhava aviveka rupatvat. So, says sushuptam hi swapna jagrate prati bij bhava. Bij bhava aviveka rupatvat. What is sushupta? Bij bhava. What is bij bhava? The causal state. What's the causal state? Sushuptam hi swapna jagrate prati bij bhava. Remember cheto mukha. Sushupta is the mukha or the mouth or the gate for chetas, for the consciousness of waking and dream. Why is it so? Because Sushupti is a cause and waking and dream are effect, and so cause occurs before the effect, and therefore the effect comes from the cause. So that way, Sushuptam is Swapna Jagrata Prati Bij Bhava. The deep sleep state is the cause for waking, meaning that the potential of waking and dream are all contained in Sushupti. If dream was potentially not there in Sushupti, then dream cannot come. If waking was not potentially there in sleep, then also waking cannot come. So krama akrama cheto mukha. That chetas or consciousness also becomes mukha or gateway for the sleeper to come to waking or dream. That could not be unless waking and dream were potentially there in the state of deep sleep. So Bij Bhava. So Bij Bhava tasya Ashesha Vishesha Vijnana Abhava Rupatvat. What's the nature of that Bij Bhava? Ashesha Vishesha Vijnana Abhava Rupatvat. What is waking? Vishesha Jnanam. Where the Jnanam knowledge is qualified by the Visheshas or the names and forms by qualification. It's a qualified knowledge. The dream cognition, each one also is qualified by name and form. So, Ashesha Vishesha Vijnanam. Vishesha Vijnanam is there in the waking, and the dream, Vijnana Abhava, absence of the qualified knowledge. Ashesha Vishesha Vijnana Bhava. Total absence of any qualified knowledge. That's called deep sleep. Vishesha Vijnananam Sarvesham Ghanam. So what has happened? Either you can say that there is no Vishesha Vijnanam or Visheshata is gone. So Tesham Ghanam. Why is it called Prajnana Ghanam? What is Prajnanam? Prajnanam is the cognition. Here. Prajnanam is not consciousness. Here Prajnanam is cognition. What is the cognition? Each cognition distinguishes the other one, and each cognition presents an object before you, and therefore cognitions differentiate from one object to the other. When the differentiation is gone, because that's how Bhashyakara chose to explain. You could have simply said that it's a causal state and therefore everything merges into cause, that is ignorance. That's how I normally explain. But because Prajnana Ghana is said is a mass of consciousness or dense consciousness, so denseness has to be explained. As though all the Prajnanam have merged into one, become dense. So Vishesha Vijnanam Sarvesham Ghanam. So how come there is absence of Vishesha Vijnanam? How come absence of the particular knowledge? Because all of them have become dense and therefore Vishesha is no more perceptible. Ekam sadharanam avibhaktam. Therefore, all these Visheshas become one. Eki bhutaha is a state of mind. Prajnana ghanaha is a state of the sleeper. So, avibhaktam sushuptamiti tat pratishedaha na ityadina sambhavati. So therefore, how can there be negation of Sushupti when you are never there in Sushupta? In waking state also that state can come. When there is no Vishesha Jnanam at all, there are moments when it just becomes blank. So not only that state exists in the deep sleep state, that state sometimes exists in the waking also. Then. You know? That means somebody is lost, nothing is happening there. Here milk is boiling, all things are happening and she's standing there, you know. So meaning these moments can come in the waking state also, so that is why that also has to be negated. The dreaming can also happen in waking states. When mind is just projecting something and you are seeing that. Or sleep, that is what Karika Karya will explain. The place of dreamer is in the neck, and the place of the sleeper is in the heart, and the place of the waker is in the right eye, Dakshinakshi. Mukho Vishwa. Meaning, Vartikakara says that the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are all experienced in the waking state. Otherwise, what's the point in negating them? What's the point in negating? We are not there to negate. So, yes, sometimes you become dreamer in the waking state also, become sleeper in the waking state also. All those avasthas are also negated. Therefore, tat pratsedo na ityadena sambhavati. Whenever that kind of denseness of particular knowledge takes place, it can take place in the waking state also. Therefore, the negation is quite in order. Bija aviveka rupatva. Aviveka means lack of distinction. So when in Vishesha Jnanam the viveka or distinction is not there, it becomes Samanya Jnanam, or you can say that all the Visheshas are dense, and therefore you can't distinguish one Vishesha from the other. Like all the ornaments are melted in lump of gold, so you can't distinguish one from the other. So, na prajnanam, na prajnam. Somebody knows, what is this na prajnam? Bhashyakara says, yukapat sarvishya prajnatrutva pratishedah. Prajna is omniscient, all knowing. So, what does it say? Parthakyena viradhanishedam manasi krutyaha yukapat ityadi. Because you see, this Hiranyagarbha is all omniscient. Virat identifies with all the names and forms, therefore it knows all the names and forms, gross names and forms. Hiranyagarbha identifies all subtle bodies, therefore they are all omniscient. So I am not omniscient, meaning I am not all knowing. Because all knowingness also is at the level of upadhi. Knowingness, knowledge, specific knowledge occurs only at the level of upadhi. So knower also is notion when I look upon myself as its subject or the jnana ashraya. Who is the knower? Who is pramada? Prama ashraya. Who is jnata? Jnana ashraya. The locus of knowledge. So when I look upon myself locus of knowledge, then I can say I am omniscient. But omniscience primarily belongs to Virat or Hiranyagarbha. So Virat adi nishedam, adi includes Hiranyagarbha also. So Virat, Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic person, are omniscient in primary sense. Because omniscience also belongs to Upadhi. All knowledge belongs to all Upadhi. In other words, Virat possesses all Upadhis, or identifies all Upadhi, Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, Prajnatva, omniscience is there primarily in this. But I am not even Virat. I am not Hiranyagarbha. So that's a big thing. To say I am not Hiranyagarbha, everybody loves to be Virat. Hiranyagarbha, because the big upasanas are there. Here the Vairagya is, that is why we find in Upanishads also very often Brahmaloka is described there, and then Nachiketa says, I don't even want that. So when Nachiketa asks for the Vidya, knowledge for Swarga, it's called Nachiketa Agni. In fact, Yamaraja described that when this yaga or karma is accompanied with the meditation upon the Prasamaja, then you become that. So that had the potential of becoming Brahman or good in Brahmaloka. And that also Nachiketa let go and continue to, and then ask this question about self-knowledge. So this letting go, understand, requires Vairagya. The reason why we hold on to things is because some agenda is there, some attachment is there, I see some usefulness there, something I see there, connected to me. Either some usefulness I see or some damage I see. As long as I see some usefulness anywhere or damage anywhere, so long it will stick in my mind. That's called Vairagya. Everything is fine as it is. I don't need to change to make comfort. So I feel comfortable when some change happens there. No. Vairagya, I am comfortable as I am with any freedom from any need that anything should do anything to me. Any change should happen anywhere. Then I am unconnected. Vairagya enables me to become indifferent or unconnected to anything. So therefore, na prajnamiti, yugapat simultaneously. So vishaya prajnatritva. Prajnatritva, the knowerness. So simultaneous knowerness of everything simultaneously. Meaning all knowing. So prajna means all knowing, omniscient. That Atma is not omniscient also. Omniscience belongs to the Upadhi. So it belongs to the Upadhi of Virat, Upadhi of Hiranyagarbha. I am not even that. Na prajnamiti achaitanya pratishedaha. Somebody say, then if you are not consciousness, then who are you? I am not unconscious also. Na prajnam iti achaitanya pratishedaha. There is pratisheda, the negation of the unconsciousness in Atma. Are you prajna, are you consciousness in general? Says no. If you are not conscious, then are you conscious? Prajna means are you conscious? No. Are you unconscious? No. Means I am conscious means I declare myself to be conscious when there is consciousness of something. I am not conscious that way. I am consciousness, not conscious. If you are not conscious or unconscious, I am not unconscious. In consciousness, the idea of I am conscious also is not there. So prajna, I am conscious, that also is so not there. Does it mean I am unconscious? That also is not there. I am consciousness. So this is how Bhashyakara explained terms. One after that we will continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.